Do you still type your chart notes manually? Well, in this video, I'll show you how to get started with Freed, an AI medical scribe technology that does your charts for you, so you don't have to waste time doing them yourself. I'm Mo. I specialize in helping doctors save hundreds of hours a year using automation so they can focus on work that actually matters, like taking care of patients. Okay, so let's talk about why you should even consider using an AI medical scribe in the first place. One of the biggest reasons is that doing charts manually wastes a ton of time. Most physicians I've worked with have spent multiple hours a week, if not every day, doing charts, and this is a huge waste of time when you could be spending time with patients instead. Bringing your charts home and working late nights long after you've already left work is never fun, and this can lead to frustration, and the tedious EMRs and manual typing and clicking can lead to a risk of burnout for many people. Now, on top of all of this, one of the biggest reasons why you should consider using an AI medical scribe is that it can lead to improved patient interaction. Often when you're in the room with a patient on a laptop or an iPad, that leads to distraction and it pulls your focus away from the patient themselves. But when you use an AI medical scribe, you can give your complete attention and focus directly to them instead of being focused on taking notes and typing up things in your EMR. So now that we've talked about why you should consider using an AI medical scribe, let's talk about what medical scribes actually do. So the way that AI medical scribes work is that they listen to your patient visits and automatically generate chart notes for you. Now this is amazing, and they can create SOAP note formats. They can generate notes in different templates based on your personal preferences. They're also more accurate than your own memory. They'll create the notes for you, but you don't have to remember the visits yourself. You're just responsible for reviewing the notes for accuracy after the fact, since you are the physician, and the program cannot do that for you. So these AI medical scribes allow you to stay present with the patients. They also allow you to capture every detail of the visit without any manual entry on your part. You don't have to be on your device the whole time. And they're also significantly more affordable than traditional scribes, since you don't have to hire an employee. You don't have to worry about your medical scribe calling in sick, because it will always be present and available for use, no matter the circumstances. So in this video, I'll talk about Freed AI specifically. There are many different medical scribe softwares on the market. However, I'm choosing to use Freed since it's very easy to use and set up. It also works with any EMR as a standalone software, and it's less cumbersome than other softwares that require direct integration with your EMR, where you have to call on the IT department to get that set up for your clinic. Now, many web-based EMRs actually allow Freed to insert the chart notes directly into the EMR, so you don't even have to copy and paste the notes yourself. It starts with a free trial, and then it costs $99 a month. I personally have no affiliation with Freed. I just think it's a good product. And it's also very secure. So it's HIPAA compliant and SOC 2 compliant, keeping your patient data safe. It deletes all audio recordings after the visit, after it has transcribed that visit and turned it into the chart notes. All right, now that we've talked about what Freed is and why you should consider using it, let's get into setting it up. So you can go to getfreed.ai and you can start a free trial on their homepage. Here you can just enter an email and generate a password and then agree to the terms of service. And then we can press create an account to get started with this free trial. Now on the next screen, we'll need to select our specialty. Freed has dozens of specialties already built in with custom templates. However, you can also change this after the fact. I'm just going to choose medical or family medicine for now. And then you can enter the name that you use to sign your notes below. So I'll just say doctor, example, and enter MD as the title for that. And then next we can select the number of clinicians in the practice, and then we can select our EHR. So there's a ton of EHRs that are supported with Freed. Even if yours is not included in this list, you can press other And you can still use Freed as is, and it will generate the chart notes for you. So for now, I'm just going to use Open EMR as an example in this video, and let's press Get Started. By the way, if this sort of thing is useful and you want me to personally help you eliminate hundreds of hours of frustrating charting a year, I run a program to help doctors do just that using AI automation tools. You can book a free call with me using the top link in the description below to start saving hours every week. But now that Freed is set up, this is the page that it will bring us to. We can either start a patient visit directly, or in this case, what I'll do is press Start a Demo, which will allow me to show you an example of what it would look like to use Freed in a real patient visit. So I'll press Start a Visit, and I'm going to confirm that it's picking up my microphone. The first time you come to Freed, it may ask for microphone permission in the top left as well. But now I'm just going to click to reveal the script. It has an example patient encounter built in here. So I'm going to record this in just a second. But one thing that's important to note is that depending on your state laws or the rules of your practice, you may be required to get consent from a patient. So either you can have this added directly to the patient intake forms and have them sign it before their visit, or you could verbally say something like, to provide you with the best care, I'm going to be using this AI tool called Freed that transcribes our conversations and helps with my notes. It keeps your information private, and I review everything for accuracy. You can tell me to stop using it anytime. Do I have your permission to use it during our visit? So that way you have consent from the patient and they're on board and know that they can request to stop using it if they want to at any point. But now let's actually capture an example conversation so that you can see how Freed works. So I'll press Capture Conversation, and then I'll read the script below. Mr. John Doe is a 40-year-old male with a past medical history of hypertension and type 2 diabetes, presenting with a chief complaint of sore throat. Hi, John, how can I help you today? I have a fever, cough, and sore throat. When did this start? 2 days ago. Have you been around anyone sick recently? No, but I have been going to work. Are you having any other symptoms? Chills and muscle aches. How high has your temperature been at home? It was 102 degrees. Have you had any shortness of breath or wheezing? No. Are you taking any medications? I've been taking Tylenol a couple times a day. I'm going to do a quick physical exam. Respiratory rate 12, 99% O2 sat on room air, oral temp 39 degrees Celsius. Open your mouth as wide as you can. Erythema noted on the back of the throat. Take a deep breath. Lungs sound normal. Heart is regular rate and rhythm with normal S1 and S2. I think all of your symptoms are most likely caused by a viral infection. I'm ordering a flu test, COVID test, and strep throat test. Once I get the results, I'll call you and let you know if you need to take any medication. Until then, get some rest and drink plenty of water. You can continue taking Tylenol as needed. I hope you feel better soon. Okay, so I just pressed End Visit up in the top right after reading this script, this example patient encounter. And as you can see on the left, Freed is now transcribing that entire conversation, and it's first going to create an exact word-for-word text transcription of the conversation. And then using that text transcription, it will generate the chart notes for us in the SOAP note format. So this will normally take between 1 and 2 minutes. Sometimes it'll be faster if you have a shorter visit or longer depending on the length of the visit, but it works pretty quickly. So if you end that visit as soon as you leave the room, it should be ready within a couple minutes. So as you can see here, it finished, and we can access those chart notes by clicking on the patient here, John Doe. As you can see, there is a visit summary at the top. So this is just a quick summary of everything that happened in that visit. And then below we have the subjective section, objective, assessment and plan. And then below that, it also suggests relevant ICD-10 codes for billing purposes and patient instructions below that. So once these notes are generated, you can copy and paste them directly to your EMR. I'll show you how to set up the browser extension to do this for you in the future, But for now, let's just press this copy button for each of the sections. So I just clicked on copy for the subjective section. And then in our EMR, we could just do Command V or Control V if you're on Windows to paste that in. And I can do that for the objective section as well and paste that in. And you could repeat that process for any of the sections relevant to your EMR. Now, another thing we can do in Freed is actually view the complete transcript of that patient encounter. So if we click transcript up here at the top, you can see the word-for-word transcription of that visit if you ever needed to go back and view something that you missed or wanted to add to your chart notes. Again, the audio recording itself is not stored. The only thing that's stored after the visit is this text transcription, and then the chart notes are generated from that transcript. Now, let's say you had your visit like I showed in this demo, and then you wanted to go back and continue talking to the patient. So let's say you stepped out to order some labs and you have those lab results. Well, what you can do is press resume up top and continue speaking with the patient, and those new conversations will be added directly to the chart. So I'll press resume up here and I'll say something like, your strep test came back negative, so it doesn't look like strep throat. We're still waiting on the COVID and flu results, and those should be ready shortly. Once we have them, we'll know more about what's causing your symptoms and what the next steps are. So now I'll pause that, and it's asking us to enter a patient name so it can save those results. Now you could skip that step. You could press skip down here if you didn't want to enter a patient name in directly. You could also use some sort of numerical ID if you wanted to, if you didn't want to enter the patient name directly. But for now, I'll just keep it with John Doe. I'll press add John Doe as a new patient, and then I'll do end visit. And as you can see, it is transcribing and adding those results to the chart notes and transcription. But as you can see here in the transcript, if we scroll down, it added the part about the strep throat results. That's been added to the transcript. And in the note itself, if we scroll down, you can see it will update those notes to have that as well. So it says here, initial strep throat test returned negative, but then it still has the rest of the plan like it did before. So as you can see, Freed AI is incredibly useful when it comes to writing your chart notes for you and can save a ton of time in your practice. If you enjoyed this video, check out this one next to learn even more time-saving features in Freed. Thanks for watching.